But how are you feeling about getting a point after that performance today?
A little bit disappointed. We want to win the game. We came here with a mentality to win. All of a sudden we share points, although it's not a bad thing. We have 1 point. But we need to adjust the game and then try to win games at home. It's very important.
So much success for you in the first half with the counter-attack today. What was it that you thought was working so well?
I think the team played well first half. We tried to dominate them in the middle because that's where the play is. If you win the middle, obviously you're going to have balls behind, and I try to run behind the defenders because I can see a huge space in there. Try to run there every time, and we're just successful.
And no doubt in your finish, you're very confident at the moment?
Yeah, I always do this. When I'm in a goalkeeper 1v1, I'm always confident to do this because most of the time they always think you're going to go for a shot, but if you cut it short, they don't have nothing. Yeah.
Can I also get some clarification on the warm-up? Because it looked like you had some time with the doctor. Was it touch and go whether you were actually going to start this match?
Yeah, it's just a little bit pain in my ribs, so I try to play for the team, although I have pain, but try to give it to the team. Yeah.
And is it fair to say that you even wanted to continue on even longer?
Yeah, I want to stay on the pitch. I didn't want to go out, to be honest. Yeah.
Congratulations on the point. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you so much.
And they were 2-0 up, of course, at one stage. However, that's just one home defeat in 11 in the Premier League now for Brighton. It's a difficult place to go and get a result for anyone, the Amex, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got some talented players. Got a talented squad that he uses quite a lot. I mean, it's a different lineup every time you watch Brighton play. But there's some very, very good players. Minteh, for one, scored a fantastic first goal. They've got some goal scorers in the team. So, yeah, as I said before the game, you're not surprised if Brighton beat any team in this country. When they're playing well, then, and especially when they're at home, they're a very, very difficult nut to crack. So Spurs coming away with a point, I don't think they'll be too disappointed there. It's one of the tough games in the Premier League ticked off.
And as we said at half-time, in the opening exchanges, Spurs were on top. It was virtually Brighton's first attack from when Minteh gave them the lead, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a really good attack. They really did play through the Spurs press. You know, Spurs got a lot of players in advanced positions. You've got Hove, left winger in the left-back spot, trying to track Minteh all the way in. But this is a quality bit of play. The way they put him through, the way he composes himself, it was only just, inches onside, which is... it doesn't matter how much you're onside. Onside is exactly what he's aiming for. But once he runs through, just to have that composure, just to know his body position, be aware, bend his run, seeing the space to run into. And we were talking, as we said, Michael, before, about it's maybe a bit of a lost art going around the goalkeeper these days, but he does it perfectly.
Yeah. Wasn't my favourite finish at all. I mean, I admire people that do this. It's a real skill. Everybody has their own different way of finishing, certain ways, how you present the ball to the goalkeeper, where you place it before you decide where to put it. And he obviously had the idea that he was going to go round him quite a way out there. Wasn't my favourite finish, as I say. So I was in awe of what he did.
Now, Ayari made it 2 for Brighton, but Vicario will be disappointed when he watches this back.
He will, yeah. Of course, listen, if the ball flew straight through the air, then he would have saved it easily. It would have gone right down his throat, I'm sure. But Ayari hits it really well, and it moves in the air. And, some people will totally blame the goalkeeper. Some people have a bit of sympathy for him. But whichever way you look at it, you can't really be scoring from, 25 yards out on that type of angle. Unless it is something really special, you've got to be looking at your goalkeeper. So whether it moved or not, I think, fingers are going to be pointed at the goalkeeper there.
He just didn't pick the flight up, did he, until the last moment. You see him jump into his left, and by that point, when you're hitting it that well, it's too late to react, even at Premier League level. Now, Richarlison's goal just before half-time, in the end, proved pivotal because the timing of it just gave Tottenham an important lift. Yeah, that was crucial, to get back in the game just before half-time because, the team talk is different then. There's a bit more positivity. There's belief that, we've shown we can score, we can get back into this game. Let's get about it the same way. And I think I saw more fluid moves from Spurs in that second half that maybe didn't come to fruition with regards to a goal. But they make it work. They keep finding that spare man, and Kudus is certainly shooting. Richarlison, quick reaction to make sure that he put the ball into the back of the goal. He's become a poacher, hasn't he? He's become somebody that's quite bright and lively inside that 6-yard box, and it was the important goal that It really did change the momentum and the flow of the game.
You'd be so frustrated if you were Hurtsler, though, wouldn't you? You've got so many bodies there in the penalty box. And I made the point at half-time, Lewis Dunk just runs back onto the line. If he just stays with his man and picks Richarlison up, then the goal never occurs. But I think it's just a human feeling, you know, if you're scared, you run home, you run away, you run to the line, you play safe. Instead of just marking men, you know, space never scores a goal, the men scores the goal. So I don't know, well, listen, I've never been a defender, so I'll never know why. But it's good for centre-forwards because they tend to just leave you sometimes and run back on the line. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I always, when I was in that position, I was obviously deeper than Michael. I had the tendency to run back onto the line. It's
Everyone
instinct.
does it.
You just do.
Yeah.
You're trying to stop somebody scoring, and you know if they then pass it to a striker, at least you've forced one more pass. If he pulls a shot, if you've forced one more action in the game. But yeah, the amount of times you see the most dangerous player on the pitch completely unmarked in the centre of the goal is crazy.
Now they made it 2-2 in the end. Did you always get the feeling that Spurs were going to get something here? Did they deserve a point at least?
Well, I think they did. Yeah, I think they had the momentum. Let's say. Simmons did come on and change things. This is a really wicked ball. And I think, again, Dunk there, diving in front of Van Hecke, I think that's what put him off. He can't really see the ball late on. It's a wicked ball and, you know, again, you've always got to look at the defender once they score an own goal and say, what could you have done different? But it was quite hard. He's covering his man, two of them in front, both going for the ball, and it just goes over them. And then all of a sudden you lose sight of the ball and it hits you and it could go anywhere. So a lot of bad luck involved as well. It's
the height that the cross arrives to him. You know, it's not at his foot where he can react and kick it. It's not head where he's able to get behind and head it away. Because of the low flight of the cross, and as Michael said, the fact that two players just got across the flight of the ball before it came to him, made it difficult. And I've got so much sympathy for him in that position. It just hits him and agonisingly sees his side concede the goal.
OK, from the current Tottenham manager, Thomas Frank, who's had a good week, Champions League win and 2 down to get a Premier League point at Brighton, to the former one,